we are scanning it. And the term left of R, the name implies that it denotes the left child of the node, the given node R. R can be any node, any arbitrary node. Okay, left of R represents it is a left child of the node R. Similarly, right of R, this right of R denotes the right child of the node R. And in order to traverse this all the nodes in the binary search tree, we are going to make use of the stack. The main function of the stack is that it is used to hold the address of the nodes to be processed later. So, and info R, this is the variable which denotes or indicates or holds the information of the given node R. And in case of preordered traversal, we are going to start with the root node. We are going to start from the root node so that the address of the root node is assigned to the variable Pn. That is nothing but the present node. We'll see. Let's see how the non-recursive operation can be done on the binary search tree. These are the 3 steps. By using these steps, we can able to do preordered traversal non-recursively. Let's see how exactly it goes. Okay, let us consider this step 1. In case of step 1, process the node Pn here. Actually, we are going to start with the root node. We have discussed about the different types of traversal method earlier. The preordered traversal. In case of preordered traversal, we are going to traverse the nodes in a particular manner. What is that manner? First, we are going to visit the root node. Then after that, we are going to visit the left node and followed by the right node. Okay, this is the order of visiting the nodes. So, since we are going to start with the root nodes, the address of the root node is stored in the present node. That is nothing the variable Pn here. Okay, we are going to process that node. Means, say for example, if you have a node A and another node B and C, this is a small tree, so that my variable Pn is pointing to the root node, that is nothing but A. As we have discussed in the previous slide, the root address of the root is assigned to the variable Pn. Okay. So then what you are doing is, according to the preordered traversal, so you have to visit the roots in this manner, root followed by left followed by the right. Since we have visited the root here, so that you need to process that information, so that you have to output the root node value, that is nothing but A. Okay. Then once it is done, you have to check whether this particular node has a right subtree or not. Suppose if this present node has a right subtree, then what you have to do means you have to push the address of the right subtree onto the top of the stack. Okay, so that later we will be visiting the right subtree. Okay, so because we are going to traverse the root followed by the left and followed by the right. Okay, after processing root and as with the left, we are going to process or take up the right subtree. For that purpose, we are going to store the return address onto the stack. Okay. So then after that, once it is done, after processing A, if any right child for that particular present node is present, then we are going to push the address onto the stack. Address onto the stack. Then after that, our present node will be updated, so that the Pn is going to pointing to the left node of the A. So that left node of the Pn, that is Pn is equal to left of Pn, means that we are going to assign the address of the left subtree of this left subtree of this node A to the Pn. Okay. Suppose if there are any left child is there. Now, if you look at this example, the left subtree or left child is present for this node A, so that now Pn is pointing to the B right now. Then what you have to do means you have to repeat this step. The step 1 has to be repeated starting from the B onwards until there is no left child at all. Your tree may grow like this. Okay, it can able to take any number of levels here. You have to do these operations as long as the Pn value is not equals to null. As and when the Pn value becomes null, it is understood that okay, the left subtree or the left child is absent for that particular node. Then you have to perform the you have to process the right subtree later. Okay, say for example, let us assume that I have only B node here. Okay, next what you are doing is I have to process the B. Now I'm going to output the B value. After that, what I do is I'm going to check whether the B has a right subtree or not. But B doesn't have any right subtree, so that there is no pointer to push the pointer value to be pushed onto the stack. Then after that, I'm going to check whether the left child is there for the B. The B doesn't have a left child, so that what I'll do is I have to backtrace the stack values, in the sense that I had to pop the top of the value. The address which was pushed onto the stack has to be retrieved now. What is there on the stack? Now the stack as the address of the C. Okay, now we are going to do that one in the step 2. Okay, so now we have to go back to the right node by backtracking the tree. Okay, this can be achieved by popping or taking out the topmost element of the stack. Since I have taken only 3 node tree here, so that my stack is going to have the address of what? C only. So that my top is pointing to this. I am going to retrieve it. Okay. Then after that, I am going to process that value. Then I am going back to the step 1 itself. Suppose again, if this has so many subtrees, left and right subtrees, then I had to process this operation by going back to the step 1 here. Suppose if the C has a left subtree and right subtree, this right subtree address will be pushed onto the stack. Then my Pn value will be updated to the left subtree of C. Then the step 1 will be taken again. Okay. So this process will be continued as long as the Pn value is not equals to null. Once the Pn is equals to null, it is understood that okay, we have visited all the nodes in the tree and those values are already displayed, okay, are stored in the memory in this way. So A, B, C, it is the pre-ordered traversal of the tree. These are the 3 steps, and this is a simple algorithm. Okay, so it is given over there. We are going to initialize the sum of the variables. So top is the pointer which always holds the top of the stack, and Pn is the pointer variable which always holds which always starts with the root, and we are going to repeat the 3 to 5 steps. These 5 steps are repeated. This we have discussed in the step 1 in the previous slides. Okay, once the traversing the left subtree is done, then we are going to perform the right subtree traversal by using these methods, and finally we are going to terminate or exit from this loop. Now let us consider this example and how exactly we are going to do this non-recursive pre-order traversal for this particular tree. Here we have to initialize the Pn. Pn is initialized to the root node, that is nothing but the A node in this case. Okay, then I have a stack. Now the stack is empty. Initially my stack is empty. Okay, so Pn is nothing but the root node. So as per according to the pre-order traversal, I need to process the nodes in the following manner: root, left, and R. Now my present node is pointing the root. We need to process that value. Okay, process the node A means that my output will be A now, right now. Okay, so now I am going to check whether the Pn has the right child or not. If you look at the A, the that is the Pn as is pointing to A, so that the Pn has left child, that is nothing but C. So that what you have to do means you need to push the address of this onto the stack, so that if you look at this point here, so that the stack puts the address of the C here. Okay, now process the node Pn. Okay, so process the node Pn means what? We are going to traverse the left subtree of the E, so that my Pn is updated. Now it is pointing to the left subtree of E, that is nothing but the node B. Now Pn is pointing to this point, this node, the node B. Okay, again what you have to do means you have to now you have to check whether the Pn as a right child or not. Yes, the Pn as a right child, that is nothing but E. Okay, so you need to push that value onto the stack. If you look at this in the step 3 here, so the stack as a pointer for C and as well as the E. Okay, then after that, if the this pushing the right subtree is should to be performed as long as there is a right subtree. Okay, then you have to check whether this particular node has an left subtree or not. Yes, left subtree for B is present. Then what you have to do is you have to process this B value so that the output will be B. Then you have to update the Pn value so that it should point to the node D now. Okay, now it is going to point into the node DPN. Okay. Now process or display the node. This is the root node. You process it so that the output will be D now. Now we have to check whether the D node, okay, whether the Pn as a right child or not. Yes, Pn as a right child, so that you need to push the address of this G onto the stack. So that after that, okay, my stack will hold the value, hold the address of C, E and as well as the G. My output will be A, B, D right now. This is my output. Okay. Then after that, after storing the right child address onto the stack, then I had to see whether the D is a left child or not. The D doesn't have a left child. Okay, now we have to do back tracing so that you have to pop the top of the stack. When you pop the top of the stack, actually you are going to get the address of G. Okay, so after popping it, my the stack will have the address for C and as well as E only. Okay, now you process the node G. So G is displayed, and now you have to check whether the G is in left child or not. G doesn't have a left child. There is nothing to push, nothing to push onto the stack, so that my stack or the status C and E. Okay, and now I'm going to check whether the left subtree is there or is present or not for the node G. So there is no left child for G. Okay, then what you're doing is you go and again pop the top of the stack. The moment when I pop the top of the stack, okay, now the present state of the stack will be this. It has only the address of C only. Now my Pn is equal to, my Pn is pointing to E right now. My Pn is pointing to this node after popping the top of the stack. Okay, now I have to process this. Okay, the E is Pn node is processed. Then I had to push the right child of the E onto the stack. When I push the right child of the E onto the stack, state of the stack will be this. Okay, means that I have a pointer for the nodes of C and as the pointer for node I right now. Then after that, I have to check whether the right child is there or not. Since right child is there, my Pn is advanced and now it is pointing to the node H. Okay, so now what I have to do is I have to process the node H. So the node H is processed. Then I had to find whether the right child for the Pn is there or not. Right child and left child are absent for the node H. So that what I have to do means I have to pop the top of the stack. When I pop the top of the stack, okay, so that I'll get the pointer value high. Okay, so that this is assigned to the variable pointer variable say Pn. So after popping the address for the node high, so that the status of the stack will be this. So it has only the address for C. Next, I had to process the high. Okay, this is the output. I had to process the high output I. Then after processing the high, I had to check whether the left subtree and right subtree is there for the high. So left subtree and right subtree for I is absent, so that what I have to do means I have to again do the backtracking. Okay, so my status of the stack after at this point will be the C. Okay, so now what I have to do means I have to pop out the stack. when I pop out the stack, okay, the C is popped out and it is assigned to the pointer present node, that is nothing but the Pn. So now my stack becomes empty. Okay. So after that, what I have to do means I have to process the stack. I have to process that node. So the node C is displayed over there. Then I had to check whether the right subtree is there or not for the C. The right subtree for C is not there, so that there is nothing to push the value onto the stack. Okay. Then my Pn should be advanced. So now Pn is pointing to the node F. Okay. So now after that, you have to process the F value and you have to check whether the F has a right child or not. Yes, F has a right child, so that push the address of this node onto the stack. So now the stack value becomes what? Stack as an only one pointer or address, that is nothing but the J. Okay. Then after that, check whether the left subtree is there for the F or not. It is not there. Okay. So that you have to do the back tracing. So means that you have to pop the top of the stack, so that I am going to pop the top of the stack, that is nothing but J. Now it is assigned to the variable Pn. Okay. So that my stack becomes empty right now. Now I have to process the J value, so that I'll get an J here in this case. Okay. After that, I'm going to check whether the right subtree is there or not. There is no right subtree. Then I'm going to check whether there is nothing to push onto the stack. I'm going to check whether the left subtree is there or not. Okay, there is no left subtree. Now, when I go and pop the top of the stack, now the status of the stack is nothing but an empty. Okay, when the status of the stack is empty, and when there is no right subtree and when there is no left subtree, it is understood that we have visited all the nodes in the binary search tree in the binary search tree in the preorder method, preorder traversal method. So that this is the output of the preorder traversal output. Okay, see here, if you look at this, A, B, D, G, E, H, I, C, F, J. Okay, so this is the preorder traversal output of the tree. Okay, so this way we can able to visit all the nodes non-recursively by using this tag. So next is in-order traversal. You can also traverse all the nodes in the in-order way non-recursively. Again, we are going to make the same kind of variables here also. Pn means present node, info means the information in that particular node R. So left of R denotes the left child of the R, and right of R denotes the right child of the node R, and row is nothing but the pointer which holds the address of the root node. Okay. So in case of in-order traversal, the order of visiting the nodes will be this way: left, followed by root, followed by right node. Okay, left subtree, followed by the root, followed by the right subtree. So this is the order of traversal in the in-order method. Okay, proceed down the leftmost node of the tree by pushing the root node onto the stack. Okay, say for example, if I look at the example A and as well as the B and C, this is an example. What I do means first I am starting with the root node. Okay, what I do means I have to push the address of this root node onto the stack. Again, I had to traverse left subtree and see whether the right subtree is there for V or not. The right subtree is there, and I had to push this one onto the stack. Okay, then I had to traverse left. Okay, this is how we can do. Mean that first we had to visit the leftmost node. Okay. Could you turn off your microphone? Someone has turned on. Mute your microphone. Okay, in the step 1, you have to proceed down to the leftmost node of the tree by pushing the root node onto the stack. Okay, repeat the step 1 until there is no left child for that particular node. Okay, there is no, if you read the non-empty left subtree, then you have to keep pushing the root node value onto the stack. Then after that, pop the top of the stack and process the node. Then the popping that can be done by making of the Pn is equal to a stack top here. Then if the stack is empty, then go to the step 6 here. Okay. Suppose if the stack is not empty, if the popped element has the right child, then you have to traverse the right subtree. Okay. Then you have to repeat from the step 1 to step 4. This is an algorithm for that. I'll explain this algorithm with an example. Let us consider this example, same example here. Initially, my present node is pointing to this root node, that is nothing but A. Initially, my stack is empty. Okay. So now, since left Pn is not equals to null, okay, because the left subtree for the node A is not empty, so that what I have to do is we have to push the Pn value onto the stack. Okay, which is the Pn value here? Pn value is nothing but the address of A. Address of A is pushed onto the stack now, right now. Okay, once the Pn value is pushed onto the stack, then what you have to do is you have to advance the Pn value to the left child of A. Okay, so that you have to change the Pn value such a way that it should hold the address of the left child of the node A here. Okay, so now since left Pn is not equals to null, push the Pn value onto the stack again here. So if you, so now when your Pn is pointing to this, okay, so the left child for the B is not absent, left child for the B is present. So in that case, what you have to do is again you have to push the address of B onto the stack. Okay, when B value is pushed on the stack, now the state of the stack is this one. Okay, means that the stack holds the address of the node A and as well the address of the node B here. Okay. Then after that, what I have to do is I have to advance the Pn value, Pn node. Okay. So now Pn is pointing to the node D here. Okay. So now since left P of Pn is equal to pointing to the node D, now we are going to test whether the this node D as an left subtree or not. Now the left subtree for the D is nothing but empty, so that you'll get a null value in the Pn. Okay, that is the pointer, the Pn. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to display that value. So D will be, output will be now the D, because this is the order of visiting the nodes in the in order method. Left followed by root followed by right. Okay, so now this doesn't have a left child, so that there is no node to the display the left value, then root value will be displayed. Okay, now the D will be outputted. Now your stack as a value A and B. Okay, then after that, here for this Pn, the right subtree is not equals to null. When the right subtree for this node D is not equals to null, now you have to advance it to the right child of the node. Now your Pn is equals to G. Okay, now Pn is pointing to the value G. Okay, then still your stack as an hold the address for A and B. Okay, then after getting the G value into the P, you have to test whether the left subtree is there for G or not. Left subtree is absent for this, then I have to display the node G value. Okay, come back and display the root value. That is G will be root value will be displayed. Then after that, you have to test whether the right subtree is there for G or not. There is no right subtree for this. Okay, so then when there is no right subtree for this, what you have to do is you have to pop the top of the stack now, and that should be loaded to the variable Pn here. When you pop the top of the stack, actually the address of B is stored back to the variable Pn. Okay, so now you are at the node B right now, so that what you are doing is you have to display the B value, so that B value will be displayed. after displaying the B value, so after displaying the B value, and if you look at the status of the stack will have only the address of the A. Next, after that, right of Pn is not equals to null. You have to check whether the right subtree for the B node is empty or not. It is not empty. So if it is not empty, what you are doing is you have to assign this value to the Pn. Okay, now Pn is equal to Pn is pointing to the node E, or Pn is nothing but E. Then after that, now my Pn is pointing to this node here. So since left of Pn is not equals to null here. Okay. So that push the Pn value onto the stack. When I push the Pn value onto the stack, my stack will have a value for address of A and as well as the E. Then after that, okay, you have to advance the parent node. The parent node is currently pointing to E. Now you have to advance it to the left subtree, so that address of H should be loaded into the Pn. So that is assigned over here in the step number 9. Okay. Then after that, you have to check. You have to test whether the Pn node is null or not. Okay. So left Pn, sorry, left. You have to check whether the left child is there, is there or not for the node H. So since Pn is pointing to the H, okay, the left child of H is absent, so that you have to display the H value. So that H value right now, the H value will be displayed over there. Okay. Then after that, your stack value will be A and D still. Okay. Then after that, you have to check whether the right subtree is there or not for this Pn. The right subtree is also absent in this case. Okay. So next, what you have to do is you have to pop the top of the stack. So status of the stack is nothing but A and E. When you pop the top of the stack element, now the address of E is taken and that is stored into the present node N. Okay. Then after that, you have to display the E value, so that in order E will be displayed over there. Then after that, the status of the stack will be this. Okay. That is nothing but it holds only the address of A only. Okay. Now right of Pn is not equals to null, so that what you have to do is you have to advance the pointer to the right of what Pn. Pn is currently pointing to E, so that now when it is advanced, your Pn is now pointing to the high node here. Okay. So Pn is pointing to this high node. There is no left node for the high, so that you display the node I value. Then there is no right node for the this high node. Then what you are doing is you have to pop the top of the stack. When you pop the top of the stack, so that your Pn is getting the address of the A. Now Pn is pointing to the A node here. Okay. So once Pn address of A is loaded to the Pn, you have to process the node A. Okay. So A will be displayed over there. Then after that, you have to check whether the right subtree is there or not for the A. So now the right subtree is there for the A. Then what you are doing is you have to assign the address of the right subtree to the Pn. So now your Pn is pointing to this node. In the next iteration, Pn is pointing to the C. Okay. Then after that, you have to test. You have to check whether the left subtree is there for this Pn or not. Okay. So left subtree is there for the Pn. So what you are doing is you have to push the Pn value onto the stack. Okay. So when you push the Pn value onto the stack, so now the stack will hold the C value. After popping the C value, so now the stack will become empty. After traversing, before traversing towards the right subtree, you have to push the address of the C onto the stack, so that the C is pushed onto the stack here. Then after that, what you are doing is you have to take the address of the left subtree, and that should be copied to the node Pn. Okay. So now Pn is pointing to the F here. So now what you are doing is you have to display the F value. So that F value is displayed over there. Then after that you have to check whether the right subtree is there or not. So now before that you have to check whether the left subtree is there or not. Okay. So there is no left subtree for this. Okay. Then after that, since right of En is not equals to El in this case, okay, because the J is nothing but the right child of the F in this case. Okay. So that you had to pointing to the J now. Your Pn has to point to the node J. Okay. Then after that, you have to display the node J value. Okay. Now the status of the stack will be this. Okay, means that still it owed the value of C over there. Then after, since you are at this point, okay, so there is no left child for the J and there is no right child for this right child for the J. Then what you have to do means you have to pop the top of the stack. The stack has only the address for the C. So now you are going to pop that value and you are going to put into the Pn. So once Pn is pointing to this, you are going to display the C value over there. Okay. Now after popping it, your stack becomes empty. So now right of Pn is also equals to null. We already traversed the left of C here. Okay. So that if you look at the right of C, the right of C becomes null. When the right of C becomes null, it is understood that we have visited all the nodes in the in order method. Okay. So at the end of this algorithm, so the output of this output for this particular tree will be like this. D will be displayed, G will be, then B followed by H, E, I, A, F, and as well the J and C. Okay. So this way we can able to visit all the nodes non-recursively. And we have a post-order traversal here. The post-order traversal is all similar to the pre-order traversal only, but the order of visiting the nodes will be this way: left followed by right followed by the row. Okay. When you are going to visit all the nodes in the given binary tree in the post-order method using the non-recursive method, actually we require to push the address of left subtree and address of the right subtree onto the stack here. And after that, the root has to be displayed over there. But compared to the previous method, so this post-order traversal method is a little bit complicated. Why? Because we need to push the left subtree address onto the stack and we need to push the right subtree onto the stack. Say for example, if you have again in a binary tree like of this form A and as well the B, it may grows to any number of levels over there. Okay, first what you have to do means you have to traverse the left subtree, then you have to traverse the right subtree, then finally you have to come back to the root node. For that purpose, we need to store the left subtree and as well the right subtree onto the stack. Okay, so in order to do that one, we are going to make sure of the following conventions in order to differentiate the address of the left subtree and as well the address of the right subtree. Let us see these following steps. Proceed down to leftmost node of the tree by pushing the root node and right Pn node onto the stack. If you look at this one here, a flag with a negative value, we are going to push that one onto the stack along with the address of the right subtree here, because when you are going to put certain value onto the stack, later we will not come to know that, okay, whether it is an address of the right subtree or the address of the left subtree. In order to differentiate that, we are going to negate the address of the right subtree and that we are going to pushing it onto the stack. As and when we pop the value stack, when we get the negated value from the stack, it is understood that that is nothing but the address of the right subtree. After popping, suppose if we get a positive value, it indicates that that is nothing but the address of the right subtree. So that is for that purpose we are going to add the negative value to differentiate the right subtree and as well the left subtree. And in the step 1, we are proceed down to the leftmost node by pushing the root node and as well as the right subtree onto the stack. Then repeat the step 1 until there is no left child for the node present. Then pop and display the positive nodes on the stack. Then after that, if the stack is empty, go to the step 6. Mean that it is understood that we have visited all the nodes. Suppose still if there are some nodes, then this step will not come to the step number 4, then we have to go to the step 5. Suppose after popping it, if a negative node is popped, then what you are doing is you have to make it positive. It is understood that, okay, so it is nothing but the address of the right subtree. Then you have to repeat the process starting from the step 1 here. Okay, these are the 5 steps which are used to traverse the binary tree by using the post-star method using non-recursive methods. These are the steps for the steps of the algorithm. I'll explain this by making of this following example. Here the A is the root node. My Pn is pointing to this A. Okay. Initially my stack is an empty. Then when I'm here, okay, push present Pn value onto the stack. Since A is the root node, okay, right of A is not equals to null. Okay. So because the right subtree is present over there, push my negative of right of A onto the stack over there. So that after that, what we will get, first we are going to put the root node onto the stack. That is done. Then right subtree of A, right subtree for the A is present, so that you have to negate this value, or you put a flag, negative value in the flag, and you have to push it onto the stack. Okay, generally I am calling it as the negated value of this C, so that is pushed onto the stack. Okay, so now the state of the stack will be A minus C here. Okay, then if left of A is not equals to null, if you look at this example, the left of A is not equals to null, then what you are doing is you have to make a Pn to pointing to the value B or a node B over there. Okay. Then after that, now currently you are at B, then what you are doing is you have to push the B value onto the stack. Okay, previously have A and minus C value, then B is also pushed over here. Then I'm going to check whether the right subtree is there for B or not. Since right subtree is there, I'm going to negate the right subtree, and that will be pushed onto the stack, so that minus C is appended over there, and this is pushed onto the stack. So at this point, okay, the state of the stack will be this. Okay, it has the address for the root node A, address for the node C, node B, and as for the node F. Then my point since the left subtree is not empty, so that Pn is updated. Now Pn is pointing to the D value. When your Pn is pointing to the D value, then I'm going to push the D value onto the stack. When I push the D value onto the stack, this is my status of the stack. Then after that, I'm going to check whether the right subtree is there for D or not. Since right subtree is there, so that I'm going to push the negated value of G onto the stack, so that at the end of the this iteration, fourth iteration, the stack will hold the value for A, C, B, E, D, and as well the G. So next is in the next step. If you look at this one, so we are going to put the D value under the stack. So right of D is not equals to null. Okay, right of D is not equals to null, and right of D we are going to push it on the stack, since left of D is equal to null in this case. Okay. So next, what we have to means in the next step, we have to pop and display all the positive elements from the top of the stack until a negative element is reached. Okay, see here, if you look at this here, A minus C, B minus C, D, and minus G is there here. Okay, so when I pop the top of the stack, okay, so that I'm going to get the G value over there. Okay, so now Pn is equal to minus G, then after that I'm going to remove this negative value, so that my Pn becomes G, in the sense that Pn is pointing to the value pointing to the node G right now. Now what we are going to do is, again we are going to push the G value onto the stack. So This is nothing but the previous status of the stack. Now when the G is pushed on the stack, so this is the current status of the stack over there. Next, I am going to check whether the right child is there for the G or not. Right child is absent for the G in this case. Okay, you don't require to do anything for this. Okay, and also I am going to check whether the left child is there for G or not. Since left child is also absent here, okay, so nothing to do with this. Next, what I have to do is I have to pop all the values from the stack, and I have to display all the positive values over there. Okay, so now pop and display all the positive elements from the top of the stack. If you look at the stack here, first I am going to pop the element G. Okay, G will be displayed. It is a positive value. Then I am going to pop the one more element. D will be popped out. Since D is as a positive value, so that again it will be displayed. When I pop third time, I am going to get the negative value. When I get the negative value, it is understood that we need to traverse. Okay, so that what you are doing is you have to assign this negative value to the Pn, and you have to remove the negation. So that after removing the negation, now my Pn is pointing to the node E here. Okay, then when Pn is pointing to E, so what you are doing is again you have to push the Pn value onto the stack. When I push the Pn value onto the stack, so that my stack will look like this: A minus B minus B E. Okay, so this is the status of the stack, E onto the stack. Then after that, I am going to check whether the right subtree for E is null or not. Since right subtree for E is not null, so that you have to push the negated value of I onto the stack, so that I is also pushed on the stack. Then after that, I am going to check whether the left subtree for E is null or not. Since it is not null, okay, so that my Pn now pointing to the H, the node H right now. So now Pn is pointing to the H right now. Then what you are doing is you have to push the H value onto the stack. Okay, after pushing the H value onto the stack, my stack status will be like this: A minus C, B, E minus I, and H. Okay, so now I am going to check whether the right child is there for H. Right child is not there for the H. Okay, there is nothing to do, and left child is also not there for H. When right child and left child are absent for that particular node, then you have to pop all the elements one by one from the stack here. When I pop the elements, okay, so I'll get an H. H has to be displayed right now. Okay, when I do second popping, so I'm going to get the negative value. That is nothing but a negative value. That is nothing but high. Okay, so now what I have to do is I have to remove this negation, and that should be assigned to the variable Pn. Now my Pn is pointing to high right now. Okay, after two pop operation, the stack will value the value A minus C, B, and as well the V, E. Now Pn is pointing to high. I have to push the I value onto the stack. When I push the I value onto the stack, my status of the stack will be this. Okay. Then after that, I am going to check whether the right child is there for I and left child is there for the high. So left child and right child both are absent for this. Okay. So that what I have to do is I have to pop the top of the stack values. Okay. When I pop the top of the stack, I'll get an I. It is a positive value. You display it. Okay. Do the second pop operation so that I'll get an E value. Since it is an positive value, so that you have to display it on the display it. Then do the third pop operation. When I do the third pop operation, I'll get an B value, so that will be displayed. Then when I do the fourth pop operation, I'll get a negative value. When I get a negative value, so what I have to do is I have to remove this negation, so that has to be assigned to the variable Pn. When a Pn is assigned to the when this C value is assigned to the Pn, it is understood that your Pn is pointing to the node C in the tree. Okay, so at the end of this, your stack will have a status like this. Okay, stack is equal to A. So these are the value which are displayed on the which are the output or which are displayed out. Okay. Then since Pn is pointing to C, now I have to push the C value onto the stack. After pushing the C value into the stack, status of the stack will be this. Okay, it has a value for A and as well as C. Now I'm going to check whether it is a right child is there or not. Okay, there is no right child for this. There is nothing to push onto the stack. Okay, so then I am going to check whether the left child is there or not. Now the left child is present for this. Okay, so that what I have to do means I have to assign the left child address into the Pn. Now my Pn is pointing to the F. Okay. Now Pn is pointing to this F. What you have to do means I have to push this F value onto the stack. When I push the F value onto the stack, I'll get an FACF. Okay, so now when I'm here, I'm going to push this F value onto the stack. Okay, I'll get an F value. I'm going to test whether the right child is there or not. Yes, since right child is there, I have to push the negated value of this J onto the stack. Okay, this is the status of the stack here. Now I'm going to check whether the left subtree is there for this. Left subtree is absent in this case. When the left subtree is absent, what I have to do is I had to pop the top of the element and I had to assign it to the Pn right now. Okay, so top of the stack is nothing but minus J. Okay, so that I am going to remove this value and I am going to put a negative positive value into the Pn. So it is understood that now my Pn is pointing to the variable J. Now I am going to test whether the right subtree is there or not for this. So there is no right subtree and also there is no left subtree. Now what you are doing is you have to pop all the elements one by one. Okay, pop all the positive elements from the top of the stack. Okay, this is the status of the stack here. After that, what I am going to do is I am going to display the F value. I am going to popping out F and F will be displayed. I am going to pop out C. The C will be displayed and A will be displayed finally. So that starting from the step 1 to the last step, that is the 11th step. So when I do non-recursive post order traversal, my output will be G, D, H, I, E, B, J, F, C and as well as the E. So this way I can able to do post order traversal. Okay, so in case of post order traversal, you need to negate the right child address of the right child and you have to push that one onto the stack. Okay, it is not required for the post order pre-order traversal. So that is about the tree traversal, so non-recursively. Another application of the binary tree is nothing but then binary expression tree. Okay, this is the one of the another application of this. In the previous in the class we have seen the application of the binary trees. Among those applications, so this binary expression tree is the one of the application of this. And in the linked list chapters, you have learnt about the infix notation, prefix notation, that's the postfix notation of an expressions. Okay, so that if you are given any one form of an expression, we either it is in infix form or prefix form or postfix form, it is possible for you to do the conversion to the other form. So totally we can able to have a 6 different types of conversions. So that if you have given infix note expression, that can be converted to the prefix. Similarly, infix to the postfix, prefix to the infix, prefix to the postfix, and postfix to infix, and postfix to the prefix. Sorry, this is prefix to the postfix infix operation we can able to do. Okay, how do you do this conversion here? The conversion can be done by making of the 2 methods. One is by using the stack. So this by using the stack, it is possible for you to do the conversions. This we have already discussed in the linked list chapter here. How you can able to convert the given infix expression into the postfix form or the prefix form by making of the stack over there. So now by using the binary tree, and it is also possible for you to convert the given expression into the another form. Okay, so that is done by making of the expression tree here. But compared to the stack, okay, conversion by using the expression tree is a little bit easy, and also it is very fast compared to the stack operations, because when you are going to use the stack here, you are required to perform the more and more of the push and pop operations. So those many number of push and pop operations are not required in case of a binary expression trees. So an expression tree for an arithmetic or relational or logical expression is also a binary tree. Why it is also a binary tree means, if you have taken any arithmetic operations, either I can able to have a two operator, that is binary operation. Binary means two operands are required. Suppose if I have given a addition operations, I require a two operand over here. Another, at the most I needed two operands for the arithmetic operation. Minimum is one operand. Say for example minus c, I want to negate here. It is nothing but a unary operation over there. Okay. The expression tree for an arithmetic relational or logical expression is a binary tree in which parenthesis in the expression is avoided. Okay. So that is one of the disadvantage in case of the expression. So because when I given an expression, when you wanted to evaluate the expression, okay, so we need to know the precedence of the operations. So precedence of the operations can be defined by making the parenthesis. When you are going to use the more and more number of parentheses, so that leads to the wastage of the memory, because we need to store these parentheses in the memory also. Okay, so that is not the efficient method of expressing or storing the expression with the parentheses. So if you are going to use the binary expression tree, so parentheses in the expression do not appear. So we can able to eliminate these parentheses. And the second point is that in case of binary expression tree, all the leaves are the variables are the constant. Okay, say for example, if you have given an expression binary tree like this, in this example, okay, this is nothing but an internal node. These two are nothing but the leaf nodes. These two are nothing but the leaf node. All the leaf nodes are the leaves are the variables are the constants. Say for example, I wanted to perform the operation a plus b. When I wanted to perform the a plus b operation, if you wanted to express this expression, the binary expression tree, so that these leaf nodes will represent the operands. Okay, so a and b are nothing but the operand. I can say variables are a constants or can also be called as an operand in this case. Okay, then all non-leaf nodes. Which are the non-leaf node? They are nothing but the internal node. They are nothing but the internal node. All these internal nodes are will represent the operators. Okay. So a node for a binary operator has two non-empty subtrees. A node for a unary operator has only one non-empty subtree. Say for example, in this case, a plus b, it is a binary operator. It has a two non-empty subtree. So that the expression tree for this expression a plus b, the infix notation a plus b will be this one. Okay, so this way we can able to write. What you need to remember here, in case of expression tree, the parenthesis in the expression can be eliminated. All the leaves are used to represent the operands, whereas all the non-leaf node, that is nothing but the internal nodes, are used to represent the operators or operations. So this is internal node. This represents the operation. What kind of operation you need to perform on these leaf node? Okay, it's determined by the internal node. So this is an example for the expression tree. If you look at this example, this and these are all nothing but the internal nodes. You can see here, these are all nothing but the internal nodes, non-leaf nodes. Okay, this represents an operator. Okay, so these node represent the operator. This 4, 3, 6, 5 and 2. Okay, these are nothing but the leaf nodes over there. Okay. So some of the example for the expression tree are like this. Suppose if you have given a plus 3 equivalent expression tree for this a plus 3 will be like this. Now, in the coming slides, we will discuss how we can able to write the expression tree through observations. Okay. If you do the in-order traversal, okay, the result will be a plus 3. In-order traversal always give you the infix notation. Okay. Suppose if you are given an expression like this, okay, and when it is represented in the expression tree, okay, so this is the resultant tree. Okay, we'll discuss about all these things in the coming slide. Similarly, if the given expression is log of x, so the operation is represented by this root node log, and the operand will be represented in the leaf node here in this case. So factorial of n. Okay, factorial is nothing but the operation, and where n is nothing but the operand. So why we are going to make of the expression trees instead of the expressions? Okay. See, expression trees are mainly used to remove the ambiguity in expressions. Okay. If you don't follow the proper precedence order, so that you will get different values for the given expressions. Okay. In order to avoid it, we are going to make the binary expressions tree so that all kind of ambiguity will be eliminated in this case. Suppose if you consider the expression 2 minus 3 star plus 5. 2 minus 3 star 4 plus 5. This is an one arithmetic expression, and if you are asked to evaluate this expression, and if there is no parenthesis and there are no precedence rules, okay, so that you can able to get the different values over there. Suppose for the first iterations, I may get the value minus 9 here, mean that I am going to perform this 2 minus 3. After that, I am going to perform 4 plus 5. Finally, I am going to multiply this. If I do this way, I will get a minus 9. Suppose if I do multiplication first, then after that subtraction, after that if I do addition, I will get a minus 5. And similarly, if there are no precedence rules and parentheses, okay, so that if you are using a different order of evaluation, so different values you will be getting it. Okay. The expression is ambiguous because it uses a infix notation. So each operator is placed between its operands so that we will not come to know which operation needs to be carried out first and which needs to be carried out the next. In order to eliminate this ambiguity, we are going to make the BET, that is nothing but binary expression trees. As I already told that using the binary expression trees, you can able to minimize the wastage of the memory. Suppose if you are going to use the parenthesized expressions, so that you require a more number of memory location to store the parenthesis also. Okay, that can be eliminated by using the binary expression tree. Okay, and also a compiler will read an expression in a high level language and transform this one into an expression tree. And in case of expression tree, the terms which are very deeper in the tree, those operations will be evaluated first. We will look into these examples later. And what are the uses of this binary expression tree means? We can able to do the expression evaluation quickly compared to the other methods, and generating the correct compiler code to actually compute the expressions value during the runtime, and also symbolic mathematical operations on the expression can also be performed. So how do you decide the precedence order in case of the binary expression trees? Okay, even though if you are not using the parenthesis to represent the order of evaluation, so here we are going to make the levels in the binary trees. These levels are going to indicate the precedence of the operations. The levels of the nodes in the tree indicate their relative precedence over there, in the sense that the operations at the higher levels are evaluated later than those below them. If you look at this one here, this addition operation is carried out at the end, okay, whereas the multiplication is carried out earlier. Okay, the operation at the root is always performed at the last. The operation at the operation which are very deeper in the tree are performed first. Let us assume this example. We have given a 4 minus 3 plus 6 into 5 divided by 2. Okay. The operator deep in the expression tree are evaluated first. So the expression will be evaluated as follows. If you look at this tree here, this is the multiplication is the operator which is deeper in the tree. This will be evaluated first, and that's why it is parenthesized here. Okay. So now 6 into 5 will be evaluated. After that, since the subtraction and as well the division belong to the same precedence level compared to this, okay, this division as the higher precedence compared to the negative, so that the division is carried out in the next iteration. Then after that, the subtraction will be carried out, 4 minus 3 will be carried out. Finally, the addition of these two will be carried out. So we can see that the operator at lower level will have a higher precedence. Okay, if you look at this multiplication here, it is at the lower level. So this has the higher precedence. And if you look at the plus operator in this example, it is at a higher level, so that it has a lower precedence. Okay, operator having higher precedence are evaluated first. Okay, so which are the operator having higher precedence? The operator which are at the lower levels. So this is the binary expression tree we are given here. Now let us look into this binary expression tree. What I want is, I want the output of this this binary expression tree traversal in all the 4 methods. Okay, all the 3 methods. So we have now 4 methods are there. Level traversal also. We have not yet discussed the level traversal method. Let's see here. Let me know what is the pre-order traversal of this, post-order traversal, and as well the in-order traversal. Start writing the output for this. Anybody can let me know what is the pre-order or traversal output for this? What is the output of this? What is the first operand you will get it? I want the just a traversal output. Is it visible? Is it visible?
Is it plus?
Then what is the pre-order output or traversal output? Look at the tree diagram and let me know. In case of pre-order traversal, how you are going to visit the nodes in the tree?
So it starts with center, left, and right.
Sorry?
Center, left, right. Root, yeah, root, left, and.
That is root. No, you supposed to use the term, technical term,
Yes.
root followed by left followed by right now.
Right.
Okay, so what is the pre-order traversal output now? Because you see, you can able to make a difference here. If you do the traversal for this binary expression tree, look observing at the output of the traversal, okay, so that you can able to come to some, or you can able to make some inferences. What is the pre-order traversal output?
So plus, minus,
Plus,
minus,
minus,
slash,
plus,
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 A, B,
A, B,
star, C, D,
star, C, D,
star, E, minus,
star, E, minus,
F, G,
F, G.
G, H.
Then
H.
H. Similarly, in order and post order. You just have to go through it, you have to make the output of this, and I'll show you what is the output of this. If you look at this one here, this is the pre-order traversal output, plus minus slash plus AB star CD star E minus FGH, and in order traversal will give you this, okay, and post order traversal will give you AB plus CD star slash EF G minus star minus H and plus here, okay. If you observe these sequences, these output sequences, okay, what are your observation? What are the inferences you can make? If you do the traversal of binary expression tree, you are getting the pre-order traversal output, in-order traversal output, post-order traversal output, you are getting it. What exactly those output represents? What exactly those output represents? If you look at the in-order traversal of the binary expression tree, suppose if the binary expression tree is traversed in order, so that is going to produce the infix form of expression, right? Is it right? This is the infix form of the expression. Suppose if you write the postfix and prefix notation for this infix expression, so you will come to know that what exactly the pre-order traversal output and post-order traversal output. Suppose if traverse the binary expression tree in pre-order, this is going to produce the expression in prefix notation. Suppose if the binary expression tree is traversed in post order, this is going to produce the postfix notation. So that I told in the beginning of today's class that there are 6 kind of conversion, right? So that if you have if you build an expression tree, converting a expression from one form to the another form is very easy. You can either make use of the pre-order method, traversal, in-order or post-order depending upon the requirement. I hope it got cleared. When you build a binary expression tree, when the binary expression tree is traversed pre-order, it produces the prefix notation. When it is traversed in order, so that you will get an infix output. When it is traversed in post order, so you'll get a postfix form of the expression. Okay, this is the advantage of binary expression tree. Okay, now let us see here how we can able to build a binary expression tree just by an observation. Okay, I don't deal with any algorithm here. Just by observation, I wanted to build a binary expression tree here in this case. Okay. So now what you do, if you have an expression is given, you have to follow these 3 steps. What first step 1 says means number the operators in the infix notation according to their order of priority. According to their order of priority, you have to number the operators and create the binary tree by adding the nodes of the lower priority first. Then in the third step, add children to the nodes according to the order of appearance of the operand in the expression tree. Means that it has to start creating the tree by using the nodes of lower priority. Now let us assume that the expression given is 3 plus 5 plus 9 star 2. It is given over there. Okay, this is the expression. Okay, so what I want is through observation, I wanted to build a binary expression tree. If you look at this one, okay, which is the operator having the highest priority? 5 plus 9. This is the innermost parenthesis. It is evaluated first, so that this will be evaluated first. Okay. Then again, this multiplication is also enclosed within the parenthesis, so that this multiplication is carried out in the second level. Okay, it has the second order of precedence. Then finally, the addition of 3 to this will be carried out. This is carried out at the third level over there. Okay, this is the order of priority. Addition of 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 9 will having the higher priority. Priority 1 will be given to this, and priority 2 will be given to this, and priority 3 will be given to this. Through observation, what is a create a binary tree by adding the nodes of lower priority. Which is the operator having the lower priority? That is nothing but the positive number. Okay, you create the node. I created the node for operator plus. Okay, now the operands which are left to this plus operator belong to the left subtree, and the operators are the operators and operands which belong to the right of the plus are going to be the right subtree. Okay, this belongs to the right subtree and this belongs to the left subtree. I have only one operand in this, or create a left child for the plus and mark it as an 3. Then after that, the next priority is given to the multiplication, so that you create a right child for the right child for the plus node. Then you have to mark it as an star over there. Mean that the node, this node should mention the multiplication, because this is going to have the second priority over there. Then after that, after this, you have to find which are the operands left to the multiplication and left to the which are the operands and operator left to the multiplication operator, and as well as the operand or the operator right to the star operator. Okay, we have only the operand 2 which is left right to the star, so that create a right node for this star and you make it as an 2. Okay, name it as an 2. Then after that, the highest priority is given to the P1, that is a positive operator. Okay, so that this is going to be the right left child of this multiplication operator. You create a node and mention it as a plus operator, so that add the right child and the left child, so that it becomes 5 become the left child and 9 become the right child. This is how we can able to construct the expression tree through observation. Okay, so that manually first what you do is you have to find the order of precedence, then finally start creating the nodes starting with the lower priority. If you look at this one, this plus is going to have a lowest priority. Okay, this will be carried out at last, whereas addition will be carried out first here. Okay, it is at the lower level in the binary expression tree, so that it has the highest priority. This will be evaluated first. Okay, so after that multiplication will be carried out, finally addition will be carried out. And similarly, you take this one as an example and write the binary expression tree through the observation for this infix notation. Could you able to draw the binary expression tree for this second one? Which operation will be carried out first? This is the infix form. Which operation will be carried out first? Let me know. Two into 3 minus 3 plus 8 divided by 4, again divided by 4 plus 1. Which operation will be carried out first? This operation will be carried out first. This is it is having highest priority. Then we have a arithmetic operation belongs to the same priority level, so that multiplication will be carried out next. Then after that, 8 by 4 will be carried out. Then finally, the resultant of this Then finally this will be done. This is the fourth priority. Then after that, this subtraction will be carried out. Then finally, this is the fifth one, and this is nothing but the sixth one. Okay, so that this positive operation will be carried out at the end. Highest priority goes to this 1 plus 1. Second priority goes to multiplication of these two. Third priority is dividing 8 by 4. And fourth priority is nothing but dividing the resultant of 8 by 4 with the sum of these two, and so on. And by using this operator priorities, you build a binary expression tree. Okay, you take it as an exercise and complete the binary expression tree for this. Suppose if you are given a postfix expression, how you are going to create the binary expression tree? This is the algorithm for this. Okay, you have to create a stack. Okay, initially the stack will be empty, and read the next symbol. Okay, say for example, postfix operations you are going to do, so that this is an expression which I have given. Say for example, this is the postfix expression. Through this example, I am going to explain. First, you create a stack. Okay, read the input symbol. So this is the first symbol. Read the input symbol. Okay, after reading this symbol, you have to check whether the read symbol is nothing but an operand or operator. Okay, you have to test whether the symbol is operand or operator. Okay, so now since the first symbol is nothing but an operand, okay, if the symbol is numeric value or a variable, numeric value or variable means I am calling it as an operand. Okay, operand, what do you do means create a new expression tree. Okay, you create a new expression tree with a single node, means that you have to create a node and assign the value A and push it onto the stack. Okay, the address of this should be pushed onto the stack. Okay, that is done. Okay, next, if the symbol is an operator, suppose when you operate, say for example, the next symbol is nothing but B. Okay, again what you are doing is you have to create a one more node and push it onto the stack. Okay, so I have these two symbols. The moment whenever the operator is read from the given postfix notation, what you have to do is you have to pop the two trees. Say for example, I am calling this one as an T1 and I am calling this one as an T2. You pop these two trees from the stack, and what you do is you create a one more node. I am going to create a one more node. Okay, and I'm going to assign the operator to this new node. What is the operator? Plus operator. After that, whatever the nodes which I popped out from the stack here, those nodes supposed to become the left child and right child of this operator, so that A is supposed to be the left child of left child of plus, and B is supposed to be the right child of B. Okay, and repeat this procedure until the whole input is read. Okay, I have taken a only simple example here in this case. Suppose if the expression is too big, and I have to repeat this operation till you read the last symbol. Okay, at the end of this, the stack will contain a single tree, which would be the output of the which would be the output of the algorithm. That is nothing but the binary expression tree. Let us consider this. Read the first symbol. What is the first symbol? A. Since A is an variable, okay, variable. If it is an variable, what you have to do is you have to create a new node. Okay, you have to create a new node. Okay, so that node should be pushed onto the stack. Okay, my stack is holding the address of this node. Next, read the next node. Read the next symbol. The next symbol is also operand. Okay, create a one more node. Okay, and push this one onto the top of the stack. Okay, then read the third symbol. Now read the third symbol. Okay, so now the symbol is nothing but an operator. Okay, when the symbol is an operator, what you are doing is pop these two, pop the top of the stack. Two pop operation you're supposed to do. Okay, from what you do means you create a one more node, new node, okay, and had this A and B as an left and right child of that particular node, okay, so that operators comes, what I am doing is I am going to create a new node, okay, I am going to pop out the top of the stack two times, twice, so that I'll get an A node and as the B node. I am going to add A as an left child and B as an right child, and again this resultant node or tree should be pushed onto the stack. Next, read the next symbol. Next symbol is nothing but an C here in this case, okay. Now what you are doing is you create a one more node and push this node onto the stack. Okay, that is done. Now read the next symbol. That is nothing but D also. Okay, since D is red, it is a symbol. It is an operand. So that create a one more node, push that one onto the stack. Again, read the next one. Okay, next symbol is also a variable. Read it. Okay, and push this one onto the stack. Okay, now read the next symbol. When I read the next symbol, I'll get an operator. When it is an operator, create a new node with this, okay. Then after that, pop the stack twice. When I pop the stack first, okay, I'll get an E, so that E is supposed to become the right child of the plus operator, okay. Then pop once again, I'll get an D, D is supposed to be the left child of this, okay. Then what I have to do means I have to push this one again onto the stack. I already popped out it, and this is going to become the top of the stack right now, okay. So this is what I'll get it. Now read the next symbol. When I read the next symbol, I'll get an star. When I get an star, okay, I'll create a new node, okay. Then this node represents the multiplication operation. I'm going to pop the top of the stack. When I pop the top of the stack, I'll get this, and this is going to become the right child of the this multiplication operation. That is, I'll get D and E. Again, I'm going to pop the top of the stack. I'll get an C, so that this is going to become the right child. Then after that, you have to push this resultant tree onto the stack. Now it comes to this position. So this is the status of the stack after reading this symbol. Finally, read the last symbol. Last symbol is nothing but an operator. So that create a new node, assign this operator to this node, and pop the top of the stack. So when I pop it, I'll get this subtree. Okay, so that is C, and followed by plus, followed by D and E. Okay, this is nothing but tree. Then pop the one more once again. So when I pop it, I'll get in this subtree. Okay, so that add it as a left child of this. Okay, plus followed by A and followed by B here. Okay, finally you'll get this one. Okay, so now all the symbols in the given postfix expression is read, so that the resultant tree will be this. Okay, this is how I can able to create an binary expression tree by using the postfix notation. If I know the postfix notation, postfix expression, postfix form, I can able to form the, or I can able to consider the expression tree by using this algorithm. So I'm going to stop at this moment. Your assignment is scheduled at 3 o'clock. Sorry, 3:30. You please, all of you, go through that assignment. I think it will be, the assignment will be out in 1 minute. Okay. There are 2 questions, and you have to attend both the questions. All the best. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all. I'm Now the assignments are posted here. Just go through it. I hope everybody can able to see the assignment right now.